Today, I'm taking this hefty little Jurassic World Rebirth Lab Lockdown Tyrannosaurus Rex with its awesome biting gimmick and super detailed sculpt and giving it the paint job it deserves. You're gonna want to make sure to stick around to the end to see that final result. Hey there, my googly gang, Gary the Gremlin here, but I can't deal with that now because today, as you can very much tell, we are once again back with another repaint video. 2 weeks ago, I received this Lab Lockdown T-Rex for Christmas, and let's be honest, the only reason I asked for it was specifically to make this repaint video. It's a great little toy, but one that really desperately is in need of some more color. So let's get right on into it. As you can see, I've gone ahead and readied this guy up with some gray primer. I even fit in a big mouth guard for him since I don't feel like repainting the mouth or teeth at all. Sounds like a good idea, right? No. Like I just said, in retrospect, I think this gray primer was actually a big mistake here. It made it harder for the paint to adhere to the figure, and I think it sort of lost some of the detail on the sculpt by filling in the cracks and scales a little bit. Some foreshadowing for later as well. Lighter colors, like yellow for instance, do not adhere well to a very dark gray background. You will need 15 coats. Spoilers aside, I've actually got a model I want to base this repaint on this time around. Usually, I'm just kind of winging it, but today, I wanted to create an homage to my favorite T-Rex toy, the Hasbro Jurassic Park Battle Growlers T-Rex. I've had this toy since I was a little kid and have always loved the really intricate and weird paint job on it, and given that the Lab Lockdown sculpt reminded me so much of this figure, I think the color scheme will carry over nicely. I'll be using a big ol' selection of Apple Barrel acrylic paints to get this guy done, and feel free to pause the video if you want to catch the names of all of them. Each one of these paints is something like 58 cents at Walmart, and my brushes are a bag that was like $5. I always try to do my repaints with the cheapest, most widely available materials just to show that anyone can pick up a brush and try it for themselves. Before we get going, please help me out and like, comment, and subscribe. We just hit 69,000 subscribers, which is pretty nice. So now I guess our next goal should be 420,000, right? Is that still a thing people say? All I hear in my comment section these days is 6-7, oh my god. Hold on to your butts, we're starting things off with this antique parchment color and just going to tackle the whole underside of this T-Rex. This is a nice color, not too stark of a white, with just a little subtle hint of green to it. I think it'll serve as a strong foundation to build our other colors off of. The original Toys R Us Rex has some very nice gradients in the color scheme, and I'll be trying to match those to the best of my ability. Laying this foundation down, I actually ended up with a color scheme that I think looks pretty cool. This gray and white reminds me a bit of a whale or something. I just love seeing these toys in flat gray primer colors. It really brings out all the details and makes you appreciate them in a new light. Here I'm mixing some of the apple barrel lime tree with the antique parchment, mixing them just so that there's a little bit more of a bridge between the colors and it doesn't clash so much. This stuff goes on neon day glow bright and can be very alarming at first, but trust me, it'll look better later with some darker dry brushing on top. The majority of the body is green, so I really wanted to just cover the entire thing. The legs are gonna get some, the tail, and even the arms. I left a couple areas gray that I knew would be yellow later, and that was a big mistake. Hold your horses, we'll get to it. Right now, Lab Locky is a shell of his former self, looking like some terrible botched Yoshi design. Hey, that's a custom idea, making a Yoshi out of some Mattel Raptor figure. While waiting on the body to dry, I went ahead and started laying down some of this burnt umber color. If you have ever watched any of my repaints before, you know this is a classic. Burnt umber shows up in every single repaint video without fail. Now, the toy has a very red head, and I will match that eventually. Keep a nice, tight, good hold on them horsies of yours, keep on, because this paint goes on very brown, but dries to more of a reddish brown. I'm also going to add an outline of where I want the stripes to go later. I'll be adding lots of green and yellow dry brushing on top of these, but I wanted to have them marked out at least beforehand. Actually, I'm going to add that dry brushing right now. This is a color aptly called light mocha, and I'm just going to add it to the areas that will either be a transition spot between green and yellow later, or areas where I shouldn't be putting it because I'll hate it and cover it up later. That latter area is here on the face, where I add some tan and green that I will hate and completely cover up before this is finished. The light mocha does look good on his underbelly, so we'll keep it there and in between his toes. And here, unfortunately, is the first of many, many layers of orange on the back. The ugly, streaky mess you see on Lab Locky's back right now is why you make sure your primer isn't too damn dark. I also made sure to add some orange to the toes for good measure, and thankfully here it stuck well, and I only needed to apply one coat. While I waited for the back to dry, I went ahead with some of this flag red and started the red dry brushing for the head. This part looks really cool to me, and I'm really happy with it. The light colored body with a completely different colored head is really random design wise, and I think it's what helps make this color scheme so unique and memorable. I've also been adding some pumpkin orange and flamenco red while we've been talking, all lightly dry brushed on to just give it a nice fade between all the red colors. While I'm showing off my progress here, what you're not seeing is the layers upon layers of orange I've put on the back without doing anything else in between. My afternoon went something like orange layer, lunch break, orange layer, go pee, orange layer, put clothes in laundry, orange layer. You get the idea. Good news, I felt like all the base layers were finally at a happy spot where I could start on the detail work. Taking out his retainer was fun, but left a lot more blue tack residue than I thought it would, so I spent a solid couple minutes picking around his teeth for junk. There were also, of course, a couple spots that the masking materials had been covering, so I took my tiniest brush and some real patience and started picking out spots in the mouth. Now, for the real fun part, striping time! I tried really hard on the legs to match the exact number of stripes and the patterns from the toy, and I did pretty well, I think. These dark stripes on top of the fading layers of green and yellow look really great, and I think it helps tie the look all together. These dark stripes on top of the fading layers of green and yellow look really great, and I think it helps tie it all together a ton. For the body, I did not stick to strict adherence to the same number of stripes as the original toy. I felt it'd be better to space them out more for the proportions of this figure. Now it was just time for some final details, like painting some eyeballs, making some scars look nice and fleshy, and covering up the bottoms of some feet. And now we're fading to black and ready for that final reveal. And look at him. It's like Toys R Us Rex finally grew up to a proper size. I love it. I'm really happy with this guy. I think he turned out great. This is one of those custom figures that feels so special to me. I love my Jurassic Park 3 Deco Rebirth Spinosaurus and all, but I am by no means the first, nor the best, to have done that idea. But as far as I'm aware, I am the first person to repaint this Rebirth Rex into these specific and niche forgotten Jurassic Park colors. It makes him feel all the more important to me. He does look pretty great alongside that Spinosaurus, by the way. Love that I've made repaint versions of both of these Rebirth dinosaurs. My favorite place on him is probably the head. The fade between all the different reds looks great, and I really like the fleshy color of the eyes, an interesting thing from that original figure that I had to carry over to this one. Plus, on top of all that, I think the scar detail all painted up looks great. This is, again, an amazing figure from Mattel that just lacked so much paintwork, but now, fixed up with some new colors, looks really spectacular. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment below what you thought of this repaint. Will you try this for yourself, or have you already repainted your Lab Lockdown Rex into a different color scheme? While you're down there, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. One last thing before we say goodbye, here's my mandatory reminder to you all that I have a P.O. box. If you want to send me things like fan mail or a figure for review, it's this address up on screen. Alright, other than that, that's all for this one. Gary the Gremlin, out.